Hi, can you hear me now? I was going to make this a text post, but I couldn't really bring myself to write it down. So instead, I'm going to tell you a story. I don't have a script. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be saying. So I guess I'll tell you that back maybe 16 years ago or so, maybe a little less, my brother made friends with this girl named Jenny. She was in high school in Texas, and she was brilliant. Um, Smart, funny, all the stuff you'd want in a friend. And I'll never forget. I first met her on the internet, because she had read some stuff I'd posted to my website at the time, Church of the Golden Monkey, that was all about a fake, um, made up comedy religion. Amazing how I keep gravitating towards those. And she told my brother that she was afraid to message me or anything because she was intimidated by how good a writer I was. I, I, of all the times I've ever been complimented for my writing, which I know isn't good, I know I'm a hack, but all the times I've been complimented, that might have been the one time I accepted it because she was a writer too, and that feeling of inadequacy, that feeling that this other person is so much better than me that they won't even want to look at me. They won't even want to admit that I exist. They are so much beyond me. Why would they even want to be my friend? I feel it. I've felt it. I mean, even in the Funky Shack, I look at some of you people and I go, holy shit, how can you put up with me? I'm nothing. But she was actually afraid that she wouldn't be good enough for me to notice. Well, yeah, I noticed her. And while she was always closer friends with my brother, we were still friends. Time went by. She got older. She graduated high school. And, of course, got a full ride to Harvard because, like I said, brilliant. Um, while she was there, she traveled to Maine because obviously she was in Boston. Really, how could she not? And she was doing a project because she was a theater major. I didn't even know they had a theater program, but apparently they do, and a really nice theater. But I'm getting ahead of myself. She she had this project which had to do a profile of someone, and she wanted to do a profile of me. I was a pizza delivery driver at the time, and she wanted just to with this amazingly huge video camera, record me driving around Scarborough, um, the town I used to deliver pizza in, and just ask me questions and record my observations and do a little a video profile of just this random dumb guy. And when it was all said and done, and she went back to Harvard and edited it all together and did all the magic that you do to make someone like me look interesting. She told me that of all the projects, I was like the toast of that class. They loved me. I know I'm making this a lot about me, but she made me into something really, really interesting that all these really smart people, people who go to Harvard for crying out loud, they wanted to hear about. And that was really special to me. And then later on, she was in a production of the play The Pelican it's actually a combination of two, I think, Polish plays, um, combined two plays into one, and she played the villain, the villainess. And it showed you what a talented actress she was, that she could make herself unlikable, because there's nothing unlikable about her. Like I said, smart, funny, kind, generous. And yet, by the end of that play, when her character was defenestrated, which is how I learned the word that means thrown out of a window, you cheered, even knowing her as a person, and knowing that you were cheering for Jenny to be thrown out of a window, a fake window on a stage. Didn't actually fall or anything. That would have been incredibly cruel. But she could do that. And after that play, we went to this weird place to get, like, I think they were like, I can't remember what they were called. There was a thing where you get a glass of ice and like a glass of like soda syrup, and you pour it over the ice, and the ice melts, and you drink the concoction. And then you wake up and you're not in the Matrix anymore, or something like that. And that was the last time I ever saw her. The natural progression of everyone from LiveJournal to MySpace to Facebook. During that time, I lost contact with a lot of people. Some I didn't, but a lot I did. And Jenny was one of the ones I kind of lost contact with. Every now and then I'd pop onto my LiveJournal to do what my Father's Day post, which I do every year, which is basically just a giant middle finger to my father. And one time, a few years ago, I posted it, and maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and Jenny replied saying, "Oh my God, Sean, it's so good to see that you're still alive. How are you doing?" And I was like, "Yeah, great, And it really didn't go very much further than that. I haven't heard from her. My brother hadn't heard from her in a long time. So fast forward to today. About 2:30, I go on my lunch break, and I have a Facebook message on my phone from my brother saying, "Dude, I got something really heavy to weigh on you. Hit me up when you have time to talk." So I immediately messaged him back. I'm like, "What's going on?" And he said, "You know how we haven't heard from Jenny in a long time? She kind of fell off the planet." And I said, "You mean Jenny from Texas went to Harvard, that Jenny?" He goes, Yeah, and it's not good." I said, "What is it? What happened?" And he sent me a link to her obituary. Because in 2013, in Texas, where she was going after a postgraduate degree, after graduating near the top of her class at Harvard, she was in a car accident and died. And like I said, we weren't super close, but this is the first time I've had a friend die, a contemporary, even someone younger than me. And I was in the lunchroom at work, and I went outside. We have a little table where people smoke. And I sat on that table by myself, texting my brother back and forth about how bullshit, how unfair, how wrong this was. How much we just wanted it to not be true. And I just cried for half an hour straight. I didn't eat lunch. Actually, I just, right now, ate the first real solid food I've eaten all day because I've had no appetite. And I don't know how I got through the rest of the day. The advice from Jade and other people on the Funky Shack helped, just because I knew other people cared. A couple of my coworkers that I talked to I'm not really big into confiding in randos at work, but a couple of my coworkers I felt comfortable confiding in, were very supportive. And maybe I should have written a script. Maybe I should have written down what I wanted to say. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, my biggest takeaway from this, the biggest feeling I had, the biggest thing that I can't stop thinking about, is that 3 years ago, Jenny, one of the smartest, nicest, most compassionate, kindest people I'd ever met, she died. And for 3 years since then, the sun and the moon have risen and set every day like nothing had fucking happened. Am I saying that I think the heavens should have been rended for this? Yes. That Jesus himself should have come down and wept for the loss that humanity has suffered. Mom being grandiose. But that's how I felt. I felt betrayed by the world because it was going on like this was normal. And I don't know if this is even going to be listenable, because I'm not going to listen to it. I'm just going to upload it. But I just wanted to thank the people in the Funky Shack for being supportive and listening to me rant in the shout box. And also, in case they ever do listen to this, thank you to Austin and Lauren for putting out a Game Crunk today, because I really, really needed that today. So, I guess this is my couch post. I don't know how to end this. Like I said on Facebook, Jenny wasn't supposed to end like this. 26 years old, having never reached her potential. Fred told me today, he said he always thought that we'd re-hook up with her, we'd connect with her, and she'd tell us all these stories about how great she's doing. And has been robbed from us and from her future. That we were ready to be so proud of, that she'd ever slummed it with guys like us. I know it was 3 years ago, but I only found out today. Anyway. Peace.